Welcome to My Life on a GLP-1. I'm your host, Scott Johnson. In today's episode, we're diving into a topic that many of you have been asking about, a real game changer in the world of GLP-1 medications. We're talking about the transition from injectables to oral alternatives. It's a subject filled with questions, excitement, and a little bit of apprehension, and we're here to unpack it all.
And I'm Sarah. It's great to be here. Scott, we have a huge topic today, one that could redefine the patient experience for millions. But before we dive into the new developments, can I ask you to cast your mind back? I think it's important for our listeners to connect with the journey. Do you remember the night before your very first Mounjaro injection? The feelings, the thoughts, the whole setup?
Oh, vividly. It's etched in my memory. I think I watched every single tutorial on YouTube, probably twice. I was so nervous. I had the pen, the alcohol swab, a totally unnecessary bandage, all laid out on my kitchen counter with an almost comical level of precision, like I was about to perform delicate surgery on a very important, very nervous patient, which I guess was myself.
The dramatic preparation. It's a ritual so many of us go through. You create this sterile field in your bathroom or kitchen, you read the instructions for the 10th time, and you give yourself a little pep talk in the mirror. It's a moment.
Exactly. The intensity of the moment was palpable. I stared at my stomach. My stomach seemed to stare right back, completely unaware of the tiny medical device aimed at it. I remember taking a deep breath, pressing that pen down with about 10 times the force actually required, and then click. It was over in 2 seconds. I genuinely expected more drama, more of a moment, but it was surprisingly simple.
Right. It's often more anticlimactic than a regular Tuesday afternoon. All that build up for a tiny, almost imperceptible event. Well, for the version of you standing in that kitchen, and for the millions of others who have gone through that same ritual, the entire game has just been completely and utterly rewritten. Because we now officially have GLP-1 as available in a pill form. No more pens, no more needles.
Well, let me emphasize, potentially. But yes, 2 of them, in fact, which is even more incredible. This is a massive development, a leap forward that many have been waiting for. It addresses one of the biggest barriers for people considering these medications, the needle. So let's break it down. Let's start with the first one to get FDA approval, the oral version of a very familiar name, the Wegovy pill.
That's right. For those familiar with the landscape, this is huge news. So this is a once daily oral formulation of semaglutide, which is the exact same active ingredient found in the injectable Wegovy and Ozempic. The challenge has always been getting this molecule to survive the stomach and be absorbed effectively. And the clinical trial results are genuinely impressive for a pill. In the studies, participants lost an average of nearly 17% of their body weight over 68 weeks. That's a number that commands respect.
17%. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. That's essentially matching the efficacy of the injectable version, which is the gold standard. And I was looking at the data too, and I saw that 1 in 3 people on the full treatment dose hit that incredible milestone of 20% or more weight loss. That is a huge, life-changing number for so many individuals.
A truly meaningful number. It signifies a paradigm shift in treatment options. But, as with many innovations, it comes with a specific ritual, a set of instructions that are critical for its success. You have to take it first thing in the morning on a totally empty stomach, and they are very specific, with no more than 4 ounces of plain water. Then, the waiting game begins. You have to wait a full 30 minutes before eating, drinking your beloved morning coffee, or taking any other morning medications. It's a strict protocol.
So there's the catch, the fine print. For a lot of people, especially those who are already disciplined with a morning routine, that's perfectly manageable. But for the vast crowd of us who practically pour coffee before our eyes are even fully open, for those who need that caffeine kick to become fully vertical, that's a serious lifestyle adjustment. It requires re-engineering your entire morning.
It really is a significant ask. It's not just about taking a pill, it's about changing a foundational part of your day. But clearly, the demand is there, and it's massive. The appeal of a pill outweighs the inconvenience for many. It's already widely available, and my research shows that hundreds of thousands of prescriptions are already being filled. But that very specific morning ritual you described brings us perfectly to the second pill on our list, which has a very, very different approach to solving the oral delivery puzzle.
Yes, let's shift gears and talk about Foundayo. This is Eli Lilly's much anticipated entry into the oral GLP-1 space, and its entire main selling point, its core marketing message, can be boiled down to one powerful word: simplicity.
Total, absolute simplicity. It's designed to fit into your life, not the other way around. You can take Foundayo at any time of day that works for you, with or without food, and with no restrictions on water or other beverages. The science behind this is fascinating. It's a different kind of molecule altogether, a non-peptide agonist, which means it doesn't need that carefully controlled, empty stomach environment to be absorbed properly by the body. It's a more robust compound.
That is a massive, game-changing differentiator. In a market focused on efficacy, this is a direct appeal to user experience. When you're talking about a daily medication that someone might be on for years, possibly for life, not having to structure your entire morning around it is a huge quality of life feature. It removes a significant daily friction point.
Absolutely. It's about sustainability of the habit. Now, it's important to discuss the efficacy. The weight loss numbers in the clinical trials for Foundayo were a bit lower than what we saw with the Wegovy pill, coming in around 12.4% on average. It's still a very clinically meaningful and significant result, far better than older oral medications, but it does highlight the central trade-off here. You're getting slightly less potency in exchange for maximum, unparalleled convenience. The choice will come down to individual patient priorities and physician recommendations.
Okay, so for everyone listening, let's just lay it out head to head, crystal clear.
Great idea. On one side, you have the Wegovy pill. That's oral semaglutide. You get the top tier weight loss, around 17%, but you must follow that strict morning ritual. Empty stomach, 30-minute wait.
On the other side, you have Foundayo, which is the molecule orforglipron. The convenience is unbeatable. Take it anytime with or without food. The average weight loss is a bit lower, around 12.4%.
Exactly. So the core choice for patients in discussion with their doctor is, do you want the highest possible potency and are willing to build a strict routine around it?
Or do you prefer slightly less potency for the ultimate convenience?
And it's worth noting that the initial pricing for both seems to be in a very similar ballpark.
But beyond the initial weight loss, there's another angle to this that might be the most exciting part of all: the implications for long-term weight maintenance.
Even Dave Ricks, the CEO of Eli Lilly, said that he sees Foundayo playing a role in maintenance for people who achieve their goal weight with a shot and want to keep the weight off.
For those of us who have done the hard work of losing weight on an injectable GLP-1, the idea of transitioning to a daily pill to protect that work is genuinely hopeful. And it costs less, requires no supplies, and fits in a pocket.
This is not a replacement for the injectable experience for everyone. The injectables remain more potent for active weight loss, right?
That is 100% true. A pill changes the conversation. And for me, after my 2.5 years, well, I'm going to have a conversation with my doctor to see if this is right for my maintenance.
We are at the beginning of this era, not the end of it. Science is moving fast. The access is improving.
The price is coming down. And for the first time since GLP-1 medications changed what weight management looked like, there is now a tool that asks a little less of you in the morning while still doing real work.
Wow, for those of us well into our journeys, or even those that are thinking about starting, this is exciting news for us all to learn more about. I know you will keep us updated with new articles on your website as more unfolds. And to each of you listening, if you have started one of the GLP-1 pills, send us a message on Scott's website at mylifeonglp1.com. And while you are out surfing the net, please take some time to share, comment, or give our podcast a 5-star rating wherever you stream. Tell us, Scott, what final thoughts do you have on these new medications?
Thanks, Sarah. This is all worth being hopeful about. Not in the soft focus, inspirational quote kind of way. In the real kind. The kind where the options are genuinely better than they were a year ago, and better again than they will be a year from now. It is another option, and the original injectables may be your best option. So be sure to talk with your medical provider. So, on behalf of Sarah, I'm Scott Johnson, always wishing you the most success. And don't forget to always love your journey. Thanks for tuning in.